Get ready for a no BS approach to health and fitness. This is NBS Fitness Radio.
What's up, everyone? This is David Allen with NBS Fitness Radio. And today, I'm going to share with you a couple stories. So, the first story I'm going to share with you is the story about a guy named John. John, when he was born, was given a $10 million trust fund. And so he was born, he had $10 million in the bank and was told, hey, this is yours. Enjoy it. Put it to good use. Build it. Grow it. This is your $10 million. You're now the steward of this money. So John kind of went through his life, and there were times where he was motivated to grow it or to do good things with it. But for the most part, he just kind of spent it. Not on anything terrible. He wasn't doing drugs or spending it on hookers or any of that kind of stuff. But he was just kind of wasting it away. But you know, he had $10 million in the bank. So when it went from $10 million to $8 million, it's like, who cares? I still got $8 million in the bank, right? So he kind of continues to go through this period or this cycle where he's spending the money, not necessarily using it wisely, not necessarily using it foolishly, but just kind of going through his day. He starts to get in his 20s, and now he's spent about half of it. Then he gets into his 30s, and now he's only got $2 million left. And then he gets into his 40s, and he's only got a couple $100,000 left. And finally, he's in the hole. Not only has he spent that $10 million, now he's $3 million in debt. And at 55 years old, now John has completely reversed it. He went from having $10 million in the bank, now he has $10 million in debt. How does that make you feel? What would you do if you were given $10 million at birth? Would you do the same thing? Would you waste it and go $10 million into debt? Or would you be a good steward of it? Let's talk about another story. So there was another man. His name was Jack. And Jack was given a brand new Lamborghini at 16 years old. It was his dream car. He was like, man, this is the coolest car I've ever had. It was his dream car, and it was awesome. It was shiny. It worked perfectly. It's a freaking Lamborghini. You can do all these awesome things with it. So what did Jack do? Jack said, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to drive this Lamborghini. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to wax it. I'm going to get the oil changed. I'm going to drive it. I'm going to do something awesome with it. But it wasn't today. So he put it in the barn, knowing that one day he was going to do something with it. And slowly but surely, that Lamborghini just stayed in the barn. Never got its oil changed, never got washed or waxed, never got taken for a spin, never got its tires rotated. It just sat there. And decay happened. It slowly just kind of fell apart. And then 30 years later, Jack dies. And someone goes and finds this Lamborghini. And this Lamborghini is in complete disarray. Jack didn't take good care of it at all. He let that thing fall completely apart. This once beautiful machine that had all this potential to do amazing things was put in a barn. None of that potential was realized, and it just decayed. It atrophied into just being another pile of junk metal. Would you do that? What if I gave you a Lamborghini today? Would you take care of it? Would you change the oil? Would you wash it and wax it? Would you take it out on the road and hit the gas? Would you take it through some hard turns? Or would you just put it in a barn and let it decay and become another just piece of crap metal? Finally, imagine being given the responsibility of a dog. And someone said, hey, here's this dog. It's another living creature. And all you have to do to take care of this dog is just feed it a cup of food in the morning, a cup of food in the afternoon, and take it for a walk a couple times a week. Throw it a bone, let it chase things, let it do dog stuff. Did it do the things it was made to do? If you had that type of responsibility, do you do it? Do you take care of the dog? Do you feed it the cup of food in the morning and the cup of the food in the evening? What if the dog really, really, really wanted treats all the time? Would you just give him treats whenever he asked for it? Even if you knew that the doctor told you, hey, if you overfeed this dog, he's going to die early. This dog is probably going to live to be about 14, 15 years old, but here's the deal. If you keep feeding this dog too many treats, if you start giving him a cup and a half in the morning and a cup and a half at night, this dog's only going to live to be about 10 because he's going to die because he is too overweight. Or if the doctor said, hey, look, this dog really needs to go outside and exercise at least a couple of times a week. You don't have to do anything crazy, but he needs to go on a walk a couple of times a week. You got to throw a bone. If you don't do that, the dog's going to suffer. He's going to have painful joints. He's going to gain weight. He's going to lose energy. He's not going to reach his potential as a dog. This dog is awesome. Look at all the potential of this other living creature that you now have the responsibility for. If you fail to fulfill your responsibility, this other living creature is going to suffer. What do? Do you take care of the dog? Do you feed it what's supposed to feed it? Do you overfeed it? Do you, even though the dog's going to be super happy with you. He's really going to love you if you give him all the food that he could ever eat. Knowing that, do you do that? Or do you go, you know what? I love you enough to not overfeed you because I know that would feel good right now, but in the end, it's going to have some bad consequences. And what do you do with the dog? Do you take care of it? Do you make sure it stays healthy? Do you do what the doctor says? Or you just like, why do I care? I don't care if the dog gets unhealthy. I don't care if it dies early. And what do you think about someone who did have that? That's really what the question is. How do you feel about John, who was given $10 million and went $10 million in debt? How do you feel about Jack, who was given an amazing Lamborghini and he let it decay and atrophy down into a pile of rubbish? How do you feel about someone who's given the responsibility of another living creature to take care of it and decides, nah, that's not really what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure this dog gets fat and he's not going to go on any walks and he's going to die 10 years early? How do you feel when you hear those stories? Well, then my question to you is, how much of that do you do to yourself? Because the reality was you were given a trust fund at birth. It was called a healthy body. It was called an amazing gift of a Lamborghini that your body can do all these things. Its potential is crazy high. And if you feel like anyone who's given the responsibility of a dog should take care of that dog, how much more does that responsibility fall on you to take care of yourself? If you're not okay with any of that, then don't be okay with settling for that with yourself and your own body. You are the steward of this amazing gift. It's called life, and it's called a healthy body. You were given these things at birth. You didn't earn it. You didn't do anything to deserve it. You were just given it. So then the responsibility and the right thing to do is to be super thankful for that and understand what an amazing gift that is and to steward it well, to take care of the body that you're given and steward it properly throughout your life. And just like we would hold other people accountable to do what they should be doing with their money, societally, we say, hey, man, that's not okay for you to be given $10 million and then blow it. That's not okay. Hey, dude, man, like that's an amazing gift you were giving us a Lamborghini. Like at the very least, change the oil, take it out for a spin. Hey, look, dude, you're responsible for a living creature's life, man. Like at least do the bare minimum. Like don't overfeed that thing and take it for a walk. Well, if we as a society feel that way about those things, then we should feel that way about people taking care of the greatest gift they've been given, which is called the gift of life, and the vehicle through which we experience that, which is our body. So if you're struggling to do that, if you're struggling to properly steward this gift, then hopefully this will motivate you to take action and to address whatever's creating that complacency and keeping you from doing what you need to properly be doing. Because here's the deal. At any point, John could have gone, oh crap, I get off the rails. I spent $5 million, and if I keep going this direction, I'm going to be broke. Let me turn this ship around. Let me get going back in the right direction. At any point, Jack could have gone, oh man, I forgot I had that awesome Lamborghini sitting in the barn. I better go take it out, wash it, wax it, change the oil, rotate the tires, fill them back up with air. Let me go take this thing out and see what it does. And let me enjoy what this thing was made to do. And at any point, a dog owner could like, man, I'm sorry, bud. I haven't been doing what I was supposed to be doing for you. We're going to start walking more often. We're going to throw the bone and look, dude, I know you do want to eat 2 cups of food at every meal. It's just not good for you. We're going to eat 1 cup of food. At any point, you can turn that ship around. At any point, those people can turn that ship around. So if any of those stories disturbed you or any of them hit home and you kind of realize, man, I'm kind of in that same boat. Here's the deal. You can turn that ship around. You can get going back in the right direction today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for XYZ to happen because there will always be an XYZ. Turn the ship around now while you still have a chance and be a good steward of the gift of life and the body that you've been given. MBS Fitness Radio, out.
Thank you for listening to NBS Fitness Radio. If you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to share it with your friends, follow us on social media, and check out our website at www.nbsfitness.net. Hit the subscribe button and tune in next time for more NBS Fitness Radio.